Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel with another coffee rant with Dano. The smoke is in the air again, guys. The Canadian wildfires have spread the smoke all the way down here to Cincinnati, Ohio. So here we are, hanging out inside. It is maybe worse than it was a week ago or a week and a half ago when we had this. It is blazing. I did a little bit of research. Looks like British Columbia is... a lot of smoke, guys. A lot of fires. Let's all of our thoughts and prayers go out to all the firemen who are involved, everyone who is trying to put these fires out. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Okay, let's get into... guys, we've been getting a lot of comments on food shortages. Since I did the video at Kroger Marketplace the other day, we saw a few different empty shelves. We saw things not... I usually don't like to discuss a lot of things that are missing until we start hearing them from other people around the country. When we hear things from different states, we are able to kind of piece it together. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We go over these kind of things every day. We go to the stores, take you with us. We take you with us to show you what's going on, to help show you the prices of things and ways that you can save, things that you can stock up on. And it may be more serious now than ever because we want to stay ahead of the game. We want to stay ahead of it this time. If you've been following us for the last 2 years, you will know when we first started covering all the different shortages. Let's get into this. One big one that I really didn't expect to hit so fast, so hard here is corn. Corn. Guys, we're going to have to pay attention to this because I kind of thought something looked a little funny when I went to Meijer last week. Now, we're going to be going to Meijer tomorrow, so we're going to check out the corn situation. But I had noticed that the corn that they had, when they were selling it for dirt cheap like a few weeks ago before 4th of July, and then back Memorial Day, it looked real good. Doesn't look like it has been touched. It does not look like there's been any added. So we're going to have to face the fact that we may have a shortage of corn. Not 100% on that, but we have gotten a lot of comments on how corn has been in short supply. Farmers are using corn for other things, like the gas that we were talking about, E85 gas and other things, lots of other foods. And I don't know. Let me know down in the comments of any other uses for corn that are taking up the use of a lot of corn, because I know here in America, we produce a lot of corn. Here in Ohio, we have massive amounts of corn. Massive. I mean, there's just fields and fields of it. So I don't know. I know soy, usually different farmers who do corn one year will do soy the next year, like soybeans, and then it works out the fertilizer in a good way, because the corn, you do corn one year, you do soybeans the next year. So that could have part of it. That could be part of it. I know a lot of people are saying, with the grains and wheat and stuff like that, that Russia and Ukraine have a major part to do with that. Apparently, I guess they do. Doing a little bit of research on some of those things. But getting back to the stores, because this is what we like to focus on, because this affects me, this affects you, this affects your family. So these are things that we need to talk about. And this is kind of, it's scary. It's scary because I feel like the more and more things that we go over here, that I was kind of like blindsided by some of this. This is why when I go to the stores and stuff, I point these things out. When we see a shortage of something, when we see a shelf that doesn't have something, I usually talk about it. Now, I've been focusing mostly on finding the best deals of things that people have been asking about. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like I've just been getting blindsided by some of these other things going on. Not like I'm paying attention to this over here while this is going on over here. We're going to be checking on some things tomorrow at Meijer, some of the produce. Been getting a lot of comments on strawberries. It is strawberry season. So I don't know, there was a thing with the frozen fruits, different tropical blends and strawberries that have kind of been on a bouncing recall. So if you have frozen strawberries, make sure you check to make sure that it's not on a recall. I won't go over what it's carrying, but there are a couple different things that were with the recall that you definitely want to look into. Now, it didn't look like it applied to fresh strawberries, but I did notice at Kroger Marketplace the other day, they were completely out of organic strawberries, which is very rare. And I didn't talk about that, and I probably should have. But we're going to be focusing on a lot of these different things. We've seen meat very plentiful lately, but somebody brought up something interesting. it's very expensive. And a lot of farmers that had to take down, had to call the animals, right? Had to, they had to put down the animals for food. For many different reasons. I'm not going to go over all of them because it's going to be a long video. So make sure if you have to here, hit pause, get your coffee. Also, I got Pike's Place going tonight. Starbucks. I needed it strong. This is something possibly terrifying in the future. And I don't want, again, by saying that, as long as we're prepared, we're always talking about being prepared on the channel here. You want to make sure that you have, even some backup. At this point, it's like, and I know, watch what you eat, we have a lot of people, you want to be healthy about it, but you also want to have food on the back burner in case some bad things happen, in case it's completely covered with smoke outside or any event, that you can stay inside and eat. I'm having Campbell's soup for dinner. I know people have been complaining about Campbell's soup lately, and I know with the different ingredients that is in it now, it's definitely not the best for you. But anyway, a couple other things that we're noticing are some of the similar things that we've noticed in the past. Some people were sending us emails of empty shelves of baby formula. Now, this has been an issue for the last couple of years. I was saying this the other day when we were talking about it, when I went over the different website that had the different shortages that are supposed to be coming out here within 2023 and 2024. So one of those, I was surprised that baby formula wasn't on there. Sriracha was on there. I know a lot of people were like, what do we need Sriracha for? I'm sure there may be some other purposes for it. Maybe it's felt like it was important, but number one on the list, like I was like, this is a little crazy. Like I felt even weird talking about it, but I was on the computer and I was explaining it. I will leave that video in the window at the end of this, so you can click on that video if you have not seen it yet. I will also leave it in the description box below. Also, again, anything that we go over here and discuss, that you have anything you want to talk about, make sure you leave it down in the comments. It's a very important subject. I do not want to go through what we went through 2 years ago. Guys, it was nuts. I mean, and you know it now. You know it now. People didn't know it then. I'm sure some people who are probably still on the channel now probably thought I was crazy, right? And then all of a sudden it started happening to you at home. We were noticing this. Why I was documenting it every day. I still document it every day. Even though we're doing more things on the channel to try and help people by saving money, because we're going to have to, because all these things have a domino effect. Things start leaving, ingredients start leaving. That's going to ultimately cause prices to go up even higher than they are now, and, with certain things that people are doing, just pay attention to some of the things that are happening in your neighborhood grocery stores. I know overseas you call them supermarkets. They're like our main grocery stores. But make sure you're paying attention to sugar. Sugar's a big one. Sugar was one that came up that, we'll have to see. I know I got a couple different emails from people who had photographed where there was no sugar at your Sam's Club. Somebody had sent me a photo of one that was at Costco, right? I know one of you was from Arkansas. I won't go over names and stuff like that, but one of you was from Wisconsin. We've been getting comments from Michigan and Wisconsin on a lot of different items that have been missing at Sam's Club. And I do plan on visiting Sam's Club here in a couple days to bring you an exclusive look of some of the things and shortages that we've been seeing. Now, I haven't been going over these a lot, and I probably should have, but I can't do 2 or 3 videos in a day. I can only do so much. So we do this on a daily basis if you've never watched us before. And we try to take you with us to show you what's going on. And then, in turn, by us showing you this information, please let us know down below if you're seeing the same situation, if you are seeing the same products disappear, right? Because it's kind of important. And just kind of like abbreviate, let us know what city and state you're in. Do not give your address or anything like that. Do not disclose any personal information ever on social media. You should never do that. I've had people do that, and I've literally taken. I've messaged a couple of you longtime viewers. I know it's been a while since that happened, but I just didn't want your private information on here, and I did that for you. But So a couple years ago, we saw this exactly happen when the initial empty shelves, right? Because it wasn't during the start of 2020. It wasn't middle of 2020. It was the end of 2020 when we started seeing all this happening, and mostly into 2021. And we saw, here we are in Cincinnati, Ohio, okay? And I thought it was crazy. I thought it was crazy that I was going to stores and couldn't find anything that we needed for dinners and stuff like this. It was always like I had to go to like 3 or 4 different stores. Let me know down in the comments if this happened to you a couple years ago. I know most of you it did. We were shopping at Target and Walmart, anywhere we could find products that we needed. Walmart was wiped out. I mean, you guys have been on here a long time. Remember, the shelves were empty. Our Krogers were empty. I was going to Kroger Marketplace to try and find things, which is ultimately we're able to find some things. But their trucks, the trucks were having issues not bringing in full loads. They're still not bringing in full loads. I didn't even know this. I didn't know this until an employee from Kroger, a truck driver from Kroger, emailed me letting me know what's going on. So I've talked to some other people that I know. It's not just Kroger though, guys. Kroger is the one that we can compare all the notes to because Kroger is all over the country, right? I mean, we have King Soopers, we have Dillon's, we have Harris Teeter, we have all Food for Less. We have all these different Kroger-owned stores. So it's the one store that we can all talk about, that we can relate things. We can relate different notes and see what's going on. And it's not because we're nosy or we're curious or in anything in a bad way, right? Not saying that anything bad. We just want to know so that we can buy stuff in a smart way, right? Because you don't want, if you have people going to the store and they're overloading everything because you think that because you're creating mass panic, right, then that's gonna be worse, right? And that's why I always try to preach, buy the sales as you see them, right? Kroger has a lot of sales. Meijer has okay sales, more better regular prices, I guess, in Kroger, but not as many sales as Kroger. But we always say Kroger is the most expensive grocery store that you can save the most money. I know that sounds funny, but it really is. It really is. At least around here in Cincinnati, they have the best sales. If you can shop the sales and shop the things that you use and stuff and be able to get by until the next sales go on, then everybody's going to be fine because Kroger has all kinds of different sales. The buy 5 or more, save $1 each deal. They've had the buy 3 or more, there's always something. Digital coupons. If you're not using digital coupons, I know a lot of people on the channel don't want to do that because there's a thumbprint of things that you do. Guys, it's almost impossible these days to save money. They have worked that out. They have worked it out to where, if you want to save money, you're going to have to either spend more or you're going to have to join the game. And believe me, I didn't want to join the game, but it's like, if I can save $50 every time or more, every time I go to the grocery store, just because of that, it's not like, extreme couponers, we don't have physical coupons anymore. We have things that have broke down dates and stuff like that. It just doesn't work out. Now, I know some smart couponers on the channel here that are pretty awesome at putting this stuff together. Excuse me. I'm going to try not to edit anything out of this. I want the full, raw Dano speech. We are sitting here, we are having some coffee, and we are ranting today, guys. And I'm upset because there's so much going on. We have looming war overseas here, things that are out of our control, but we also have things that are in our control, and it doesn't seem like we're really doing anything about it, right? There's, the whole baby formula crisis, the whole wheat crisis, and all this stuff. It could be averted. It could be done. We can fix this for ourselves. I know a lot of people on the channel who have gardens and, everybody should have a garden. If you can, we need to start bringing community gardens back, right? Some places that's still a thing. I know where a few of them are in Kentucky, different neighborhoods where, you put in what you do, right? And then you take, right? As if I grew strawberries in this patch, and I think there's probably a little bit, work together to pay out the property tax or whatever the government's going to charge you for it. They're going to get something. But, work out the piece of land. Everybody, communities pay for it. This is what we need to start doing again. We need to bring back trade. One thing I did yesterday, and guys, I'll tell you what, it's the American way, right? It really is. And the way of the world. Trade is something that we can always count on because everybody is good at something. Everybody is good at something. Yesterday, me and Jessica went to Trader's World, and it's a giant flea market, but it's not just a flea market. Guys, they got so much stuff there, and I will leave that video description box. I will leave that video in the description box below of this video, so you can check that out. We saw some really cool things. We were kind of just having fun walking around the place and looking at. I had never been there before. Couldn't believe Jessica used to go all the time when she was a kid, but it's just a fun area. We're going to be going back because there are a lot of things that you can get there that you can't find anywhere else, and you are supporting people directly. You are supporting people directly, and you know that your money is going to it's going to somebody who cares about their products. It's going to somebody that is 100% in it. It's like, and I'm not really mixing trade with this, but I'm just saying, like, these are things we need to do more often. People always talk about going to your mom and pop shops. Guys, if we're going to pay a fortune for all this stuff anyway, absolutely. If you can afford it and you're supporting your local groups, I don't care where you live. If you can support your local farmers, the people who have been getting ripped off by different people, and I'm not going to name any names or any stores or anything like that here, okay, but they're getting ripped off. Everybody is starting to get ripped off. Things are being taken away. Things are being taken away with farms. There are things going on that are out of our control? Question mark? I don't know. Let me know down below what you think about that. The shortages, guys, I am 100% convinced they are coming again. Too many people commenting on it, telling me what's going on in some stores. We've been getting more comments from California than we ever have before on the channel. And that could be because of us growing. You know, our channel is getting pretty big. But it's also strange because during all of this, we've never had a lot of viewers from California. We are getting more. We are getting more and more. And now it's like, I kind of had a feeling something like this would happen because a couple months ago, and you guys probably remember, we were getting a huge amount of viewers from Arizona. And do you know who most of the viewers are? People that are moving out of California and into Arizona. So we're starting to reach other people that are in California that are dealing with the same issues. And it's, you know, I guess in a way, it's hard for me to think like, okay, if I'm in a warmer climate, we can do things all the time. We can always grow stuff. You know, if you live in the Midwest here, you have a limited amount of time that you can do things, you know, outside in your garden unless you have like an indoor garden or something like that. But I'll tell you what, the places that we're hearing a lot of shortages, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, is that the trend? Here's Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and California. Haven't had anything in Nevada. So if you're in Nevada, let me know right there. Or Arkansas, right? Let me know if you're in Arkansas or Nevada. Let me know if you're seeing a trend of shortages. I have been tracking a strawberry shortage straight out of Florida. How does that make any sense? That is where the strawberries are. How does that make any sense? And yet it's been tracking everywhere. You guys are the ones that that I've put this together, right? We've had shortages of strawberries everywhere. We saw that the organic strawberries at Kroger were gone, and I do believe I already talked about that. But we're seeing a lot of other things. The things with the corn, things that were not on this list, right? I always talk about being blinded by things, looking one direction while the magician is pointing you in this direction. Like, here's the answer, but you're constantly looking over here, right? This is the trickery that we see in the grocery stores and everything for them to, like, the low price stickers. Like, that low price doesn't mean anything. That just means that you have not raised the price yet, because it's never the sale. It's always the regular price, and I don't care what store that is. Meijer is starting to do the same thing. It's a little disappointing. I've always... and I do love Meijer, I do, but I don't like seeing them do the same thing that Kroger is doing. I think that is that's very low on their part, and I'm trying to think. I probably should have put some notes down here of some of the comments that we had. But peanut butter, I don't get it. I don't get it. Peanut butter, I guess, is going to be another issue. And a lot of this may have to do with ingredients, guys. Now, I haven't seen any shortages of peanut butter. People have been talking about Skippy peanut butter, though, and I did notice that that's always been low. Always been low. But people have been saying Jif peanut butter. Now, see, not seeing it, right? I see it everywhere in the stores, but we're getting comments that this has been wiped out. So these are things that we need to pay attention to. Anything that has to do with nuts, peanut butter, because that's what's going on, right? It's like, we may still be having issues with truckers. We are definitely continuing to have issues with employees. I get 20 to 30 comments after, not as much anymore, but we used to get so many comments of, well, employee shortages. Guys, I'm walking around and there are so many angry people, and it's not just customers, it's employees. I never talk about it, especially when I go to the store, right? And I'm not going to say which stores where, but guys, you all know. You know already that there is just something in the air. There is a lot of angry people right now, and it's like we need to try to remain calm in these kind of situations. And like I said, if we go to the store for a purpose. It's not. I like going to Kroger. I like going shopping and buying what I want. But I would be flat broke if I was still on that philosophy of not saving money and just going in and buying whatever I want. And I know, hey, and I'm not saying don't do that. Like if you have the money and you shop like that, that's your own thing. All I do is tell you the ways that I do it. I tell you the ways I do it so that we can save money, so that we're not wasting our money. But hey, if you haven't, I know some people on the channel say they go in and buy whatever they want. Hey, you know what? If I want that Hershey bar, I'm going to buy that Hershey bar. I hear you. But we're trying to put things on here and showing people what they can do to stock up, just to have a little bit of stockpile. I'm not saying that you don't, right? But, I mean, we've gotten some people that just go into the store and they're like, hey, I don't care. Just throw it in your cart. I see that going on at the stores all the time. I don't judge. I don't judge anybody at all. You buy whatever you want. It's your money. The store's here for you to buy it. Do whatever you want. If you don't want to use digital coupons, if you don't want to do the sales, if you don't want to do all that, well, I appreciate you still watching the channel for whatever kind of entertainment that I bring. It's it is what it is, and we're excited to just continue the journey. 30,000 subscribers, guys. I would have never thought that when I started this channel, I never really thought it would ever do anything, and here we are. I thank you all so much for being part of the adventure and everyone who has come to the channel to help everybody. We do, like what I was talking about before, people putting in, just abbreviate what city and state you're in. When you see a shortage of something, you have no idea how much that helps somebody that lives in your same city. We have helped so many people around Cincinnati saving money. Guys, every time I go to a store, there's not one store I go to where somebody doesn't know who we are around here, and they come up and they thank me. And I'll tell you what, I thank them for listening and being part of the channel here. I feel like some of the things that we do what you guys do on our channel here is what is probably saving some people's lives. And I know that might sound a little extreme, but guys, I get some heartfelt emails from people that just, they really struggle and they don't want to put their comments on the channel, and I completely understand. And so many people are helping people on this channel, and this is what I always wanted. This is what I've always done in my life. Any job that I've ever had, I always wanted to make sure that I was helping people. And what we've created here seems like it is really working and helping a lot of people. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. And, I was sitting up earlier this morning and got up with Jess, and we were sitting here talking about the journey of how far we've come and the struggles. I do this every day. We're getting used to it, but there is no getting used to working every day of your life. But I've always, one of the things that my dad always told me, he says, if you do what you love to do, it's not like work at all. And he's absolutely right. I love what I do. I love what I do on here, and I love going to all of the stores and the different adventures that me and Jess do, all of our little vacation trips and filming all of our lives of what we do and everything. And, you know, it's so, it's so great to just know that so many people appreciate what we do on here. And it really does mean a lot. And I know sometimes I don't show that, maybe because we're going hard. We're going 100 miles an hour all the time to make sure that we're finding the best things, but anyway, wanted to thank you real quick for all of that. But yes, I know there are some shortages that I'm missing here. Some people were talking, we got some comments on Dorito Chips. And normally, if we got one, sometimes I would think of that as a joke, right? Especially if it's someone that's not on the channel a lot. But if I see a comment like that twice, it gets me thinking about it. And I know that's, chips, well, we can get by without chips, but I don't care. That's why I'm mentioning this. Because if it is something that you love, that we're not finding in the stores anymore, we need to know about it. There's been a lot of people commenting about Sriracha. And this is why I mentioned that before. There's a lot of people, at least on the channel here, that love Sriracha. I'm not a fan, but because you are, I'm going to search for it. We'll try, and there are some stores I would recommend maybe going like off the beaten path. Don't go to like your main grocery store. Go to like maybe if you're looking for like, if you're looking for like different sauces and stuff like that, maybe check like a store that specializes in sauces. Try online. Now, the funny thing about online, though, is that's what I've been hearing is a lot of these things where we're finding shortages of other stores. And I say, well, they got a ton of it at Walmart. And then what's happening here, and this is why I'm a little, I don't want to say stressed, right? Because we've kind of been dealing with this for so long. It's like, we just got to take one day at a time. Anyway, at Walmart, we get comments like I tell people, well, they have plenty at Walmart. Check online, if they don't have it there. And then we won't find it online at Walmart. And that's when it gets a little scary for something. That Sriracha was one of them. That's why I'm talking about it. And some different brands of toilet paper that came up in the past. No issues on toilet paper, at least around here. But there were a couple people that were talking about toilet paper shortages again. Now, I'm not saying run out and buy a bunch of toilet paper. But when you see a sale on it, might want to buy up one or two. I will never encourage panic buying on this channel ever. The reason why we do this every day is so you don't have to panic buy, so that you can go by and be able to just have an idea. There are people on the channel here who literally write out their grocery list to the things that we're bringing across on the channel. Some of them are my family. And I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. A lot of the things, that they buy on a regular basis, sometimes I'll point some of those things out, i.e. Michigan cherry coffee. It's a favorite pretty much of all my family. Everybody loves it. I love it too. Like I said, it's a light dinner coffee. It's not like one that I would drink in the morning. That would be this good stuff right here. Pause. Oh, and that is good and strong, guys. Another one too, okay, and I don't want to go too deep into this one, okay, because we've been hearing about shortages on coffee for the last 2 years. This is another thing that I talk about, okay. We're looking over here. We're buying up coffee that doesn't seem like it's ever going to go out. Knock on wood, okay. We're missing this stuff, right? I am following the paperwork of everything that people are asking about to check these things. At the same time, I'm not thinking like, well, here we are spending 20 minutes on looking at coffee, and there's at least around here, there's never been a shortage. Let me know down in the comments below if you've noticed any shortages of coffee. There was a time where it was very low on Folgers, and they were saying that it was they weren't going to be able to get it in, and this was an year and a half, 2 years ago. So I don't know. Never what, and it did come back in, and it didn't take that long. So that's another reason why I like to give it a couple weeks before I start talking about a lot of the inconvenience stickers that are apparently happening in a lot of Kroger right now and a lot of Kroger-owned stores. That is really what kind of made me want to do this video, so that we could get a little bit ahead, right? If there is something that we've gone over the last couple years at least, that there was a major shortage of, you may want to look into a couple of those different products. And I know they were different in different stores all around the country and around the world. but we are able to compare a lot of different things. One thing that came up, I was talking about celery and lettuce and how expensive it's getting. It's getting really expensive. There's been some shortages. We've gotten comments of shortages of heads of lettuce, celery, different greens, right? So, these are things that, and it's like we should not have shortages of these things. I know. People were saying that too. We should not have shortages of these, and I completely agree. We shouldn't have a shortage of baby formula at all. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just going to end it there, guys. I know we're going over a half hour here, and I apologize if it's too long of a video, but I had a lot of stuff with this that I wanted to talk about today. And really the moral of today's video is stay prepped, stay true, stay safe. Make sure you have a little bit of a stockpile of different things in case you have a smoke cloud coming in. I'm not going anywhere today. We're staying in. It is so smoky out there. The Google forecast has smoke on it again. So I know that's because Jess was like, well, maybe it's just haze. I'm like, yeah, that's haze, all right. That is a hazing fire of smoke. And it is, you can smell it. It smells like plastic burning again. It is absolutely terrible. I feel so bad for everybody directly involved with this. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to all of the firefighters because this is, it's just crazy. It's crazy what's going on. It is spreading. I almost said spreading like wildfire. It is, and it's absolutely crazy. And anybody who is affected, our thoughts and prayers are with you as well. Guys, thank you so much for being part of the channel here. 30,000 subscribers is a huge milestone for us. I remember saying one day, I'd like to get to 5,000 subscribers. Well, first is the initial, if I can make it to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be happy. As a matter of fact, I thought like maybe one day I was going to give up when I got to the 1,000. I was like, nah, that's motivation to keep going. You guys motivate me. Absolutely. You guys motivate me every day. All of your stories and things that are going on around the world. Let us know down in the comments any kind of shortages that you may see in your stores. It is important and imperative that we know these things. And I hate to sound so serious and heavy speaking of this, but we don't want anybody getting caught up in what happened a couple years ago because this is exactly how it started. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. Have a great day. I will leave the videos up here of some of the other coffee rants that we have had so you can check these out. I highly recommend it. If you're bored, it might be a good listen for you. Have a great day, everybody.